and we can't help but react. But what if I told you nothing can truly hurt you unless you let it? What if the real power is not in fighting back, but in not reacting at all? The Buddha taught pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. And the key that unlocks this wisdom is non-reaction. Today I invite you to go deep into this teaching, to discover why non-reaction is the ultimate power, and how you can practice it every day. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to stop giving away your peace, and start living from a place of strength that no one can shake. Let's get honest. Most of our suffering doesn't come from life itself. It comes from our reaction to life. A criticism isn't the real pain. It's your mental replay that hurts. Have you ever noticed how quickly we let the world control us? A single text message ruins your whole day. A co-worker's tone makes your heart race. A delay in traffic, and suddenly you're furious. It feels like the world is constantly poking at us, and we can't help but react. But what if I told you nothing can truly hurt you unless you let it? What if the real power is not in fighting back, but in not reacting at all? The Buddha taught pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. And the key that unlocks this wisdom is non-reaction. Today I invite you to go deep into this teaching, to discover why non-reaction is the ultimate power, and how you can practice it every day. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to stop giving away your peace, and start living from a place of strength that no one can shake. Let's get honest. Most of our suffering doesn't come from life itself. It comes from our reaction to life. A criticism isn't the real pain. It's your mental replay that hurts. Have you ever noticed how quickly we let the world control us? A single text message ruins your whole day. A co-worker's tone makes your heart race. A delay in traffic, and suddenly you're furious. It feels like the world is constantly poking at us, and we can't help but react. But what if I told you nothing can truly hurt you unless you let it? What if the real power is not in fighting back, but in not reacting at all? The Buddha taught pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. And the key that unlocks this wisdom is non-reaction. Today I invite you to go deep into this teaching, to discover why non-reaction is the ultimate power, and how you can practice it every day. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to stop giving away your peace, and start living from a place of strength that no one can shake. Let's get honest.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elite Tribe. I almost forgot that the mic was not muted, so I believe some of us actually had my conversation, but that's fine. Let me check the comment section. Yeah, happy weekend, happy weekend. First time attendee. All right, welcome, welcome. So today is World Intelligence. This is part two. So we're looking at doing our best to see how we can hold it every weekend. Please give me a minute. I think it's blur, so I can fix this. All right, so we are back. I hope my background noise is clear and I don't have any background noise because at the moment they are gen turned on. The country where I live in, there's no light, unfortunately for us, and it's a nationwide disaster. So imagine being in a country where you cannot afford or you have the resources to afford it, but either the government is not willing to let us afford it, and it's crazy. So we're not here to talk about the government, we are here to talk about wealth. So welcome to Wealth Intelligence Part 2. Yes, last week we discussed a lot on wealth intelligence. We talked about different countries, um, how we operate. We talked about what wealth is. We talked about how you can be able to make money and the likes. So we talked about why people are poor. We talked about why you should be wealthy. We talked about how to break out of poverty. So how to break out of poverty is, first of all, I'm going to be doing a recap and then we are going to go into tonight's section. So in tonight's section, we are going to be talking about the future of wealth. So we're going to look into the laws of wealth and then go into the future of wealth. I believe that we live in an interesting time where you should be ready financially. If you are one person and you have refused to pay attention to finances, I can guarantee you that you are going to struggle a whole lot. And you don't want to be within that circumference. You don't want to be the person who is going to struggle a whole lot when it has to do with finances. And this is the reason why I believe that every individual, every person should pay attention to money. Very important, because 80 to 90% of the world runs on economy. Your ability to be able to live a good life, to afford certain things you want, is finance dependent. And there are system or there are tools which you can use to be able to acquire that resources. And tonight's section is, or today's section, depending on the country you are in, is designed to help you and show you pathways in which you can be able to build wealth, right? So, how people built wealth 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago is different from how people are building wealth at the moment. And your ability to be able to key in and to position yourself in a way that you can make money is very important. So, there are two routes which you can be able to build wealth. So, there's the slow route, which can take you times, years, hours, years and years and years. And then by the time you're 60, 70, you're wealthy, but the path is quite slow. And then there's the fast route in which you can follow through that fast route is predetermined. You know that based on certain laws and principle that governs the earth, you can be able to hit financial stability at a very young age. Few years ago, I had an idea, and one of the idea I had was termed in three words: young and wealthy. It has been my passion that people attain financial stability, not just people, but me as an individual, attain financial stability at a very, very, very young age. If you have money, I can guarantee you that a lot of your prayer points are already answered. 70% to 80% of your prayer points is simply because there is no resource. I'm speaking to people in Nigeria and a certain part of African countries, simply because there is no resources to be able to back up that prayer. Once you have resources and you go to God, you realize that 70 to 80% of whatever it is you want to pray has been resolved already. So most of your prayer points may be thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord, thank you. You will just worship Him in spirit and in truth. It is difficult to be able to serve whatever deity you are serving if that deity is unable to assist you to give you the kind and the quality of resources that you actually want. So I do not want to go into the spirituality of money. There is a part or there is a subject called the spirituality of wealth. I will try my best to avoid that route today. But if the spirit permits me to go through that route, then that's fine. But I'm going to do my best to avoid it. So there's something known as the spirit or the spirituality of wealth or the spirituality of wealth that has to do with not just laws, but it has to do with blood and money, right? Blood and money. When I was making my research and thinking and going through meditation, I stumbled across that phrase, blood and money. And hopefully, we might have a time where we can, either next week, if or something this where we can sit down and discuss the concept of blood and money. You will then understand the reason why certain people within the African clan tend to use blood money. They are familiar with the phrase ritual and blood money. And don't be deceived by westernization or Western countries to think that they do not operate between blood and money. You'll be fooled to believe that. I was listening to, I think that was Pastor Femi Lazarus. He said something that the reason why Africa is where it is because Nollywood, the entertainment industry, sold Africa to be like this. And the reason why America is where it is because they tell good stories with their movies, right? So our movie tend to tell certain kind of stories, and I believe that it should be regulated to a large extent. But that's my thoughts. I'm not going to talk about much about that today. So there's a concept or there's a phrase or there is something called the spirituality of money, and under spirituality of money there's a part called the blood and money. That simply means that for every money, for you to actually make money, there has to be an equivalent blood that have to flow in order for that money to come to you. Now, if you pay attention to one of the posts I made sometime today, no, sometime this week, I talked about sexuality and money, right? Where you have to either sleep with certain people to be able to make certain amount of money. Certain people who have sex with certain people, they either lost money, lost their property due to their energy level and whatnot. It is some way similar to that of blood and money because it requires a certain level of energy to make money. I wish and with cash I would have showed us. So making money requires a certain level of energy. It is not boiled down based on your skill set. It is also not dependent on your um effort alone. It is dependent on laws, it is dependent on system, and it is dependent on energy. So the amount of energy you have and how you are able to push that energy to a certain point or channel that energy into money making will help you to make money. Most people have those kind of energy, but that energy is being channeled into the wrong thing entirely. So your ability to be able to channel those energy to deviate is like the sun. The sun is an energy, but the sun gives light across and it does not burn the skin. Well, science says otherwise when it has to do, that's why they tell us to wear sunscreen. But the sun gives light, and if you bring a certain kind of ray, a lens, for instance, and you channel the sun to be able to pass through that lens, that's hyper focus. It can burn the paper on that, it can burn your skin literally. Right? We did that experiment when I was, I think, in primary school to secondary school. We tested those experiments and it was true. So it proved a law. So most people have the energy, but their major problem is they do not know how to focus that energy to making money, right? And your energy is derived based on the abundance of knowledge and the abundance of your intellectual property that you currently have. So if you do not know, they know not, neither do they understand. Because of that, they walk in darkness and then the earth is without form. So if you do not know, if you do not understand, it is difficult for you to be able to know how to position your mind, force it in a way that it produces the appropriate results, where you bring in that energy within you, you channel it into something. They call it the art of meditation. A part of it is called the art of meditation, where you can focus majorly on that thing and it can produce you the requisite results that you're looking for. Right? So tonight we're going to be talking about laws. And not last week, sometime 2 3 weeks back, we talked about wealth intelligence. We look at different countries which are poor. We talked about how that it is not just enough to possess resources. You must have the ability to be able to convert raw resources into finished products. This is the reason why I think is Venezuela, despite being the richest country in terms of oil reserve, is one of the poorest country in the world, having its citizen about 80% of its citizen living in poverty or living below poverty line. And that there is a different conversation about that when it has to do with westernization, politics, and whatnot. But it does bring us to a point where it is not enough for you to have resources. And because most people think that, oh, you need to have knowledge, you need to have a skill set, you need to have resources. It is not just enough. You can have those things and still not be able to um make deal with it. So your ability to be able to go through the process of refining that skill set, refining that knowledge, and then converting it into a finished product and serving it to a specific targeted consumer base will be now dependent on the kind and the quality of results, reward rather, you're going to be getting. Okay, so we talked about why certain countries which have deaf long resources they are actually poor. We also looked into why people are poor, and we say the major reasons why they are poor has to do with ignorance, incomplete knowledge, laziness, absence of strategic relationship, and value that they offer. So most people are poor because of ignorance. They don't know, neither do they understand. Because of that, they walk in darkness and the earth is without form. So why should you be wealthy? You must know why you should be wealthy, right? It's very important. If I'm to ask you right now, how much money do you want to make by the age of, let's okay, add 2 years to your age. How much money do you want to make? Most of you don't know. You say a lot of money. A lot of money is not anything. So let me just give you guys one major hack when it has to do with it. Give your mind something to work on. I was having a conversation with my younger sister, and she told me something that's very um powerful. We were talking about Abraham, right? Before Abraham could be able to believe God, God had to take him to a point where he has to count the stars. He said it was when he counts the stars that Abraham now believed that God can now make his descendant to be like the stars of the heavens or whatever, right? It was when he was able to see, because why? It is difficult to focus. I tell people that if you live in Nigeria, or if you live in certain part of the world, it is difficult for you to be able to understand God better. And the reason why you can't understand God better is not because God is mysterious as we think he is. It's simply because the system we live in is designed in a way for you to not be able to grasp the reality of who God's sovereignty actually is. Because we live in a bad system, we live in a system that the government does not care about its citizen. So when they say God cares, so most people cannot relate with it experientially. Their mind has not been able to grasp that reality, and because they've not grasped that reality, or they've not grasped that imagination within them, it is difficult for them to manifest that reality upon this earth realm. So I if you bring the average person and you make the average person who is shouting and cursing the government, and you make that person the next president of the country, that person will also, in fact, it will sink the country down. It is not because of there are certain bad systems that are in place at the moment. It's simply because you can have a knowledge of a working system, but it is difficult to experience or to bring that knowledge to good use until you experience it. I had a I listened to a conversation with certain people, and one of the things they said is, if you want to actually hit certain amount of money in certain countries you live in, you have to relocate from that, not relocate, but you have to travel from that country and go to another country and pay attention to what is going on in that country. Secondly, you have to be in an environment that accept that possibility that you're looking for. I saw a comment of a lady saying that she went to a certain environment. I think it was a Yoruba land, either Osun State or so. And she was okay, she was clean and all that, didn't know how to speak Yoruba, had posh English, was all good, all this Ajebota girl. By the time she was done, 2 years down the line, she became like them immediately. Ajepako. Sorry if you're not in Nigeria. Ajepako simply means someone who is strong, someone who is doing yeah, all those gym person, right? So Ajepako, person start to speak Yoruba fluently and all that. That's to tell you that your environment affects 80% of your life. 80% of your life. Where you come from affect 80% of your life. So you need to travel in order for you to experience certain realities that exist there. Once you experience that reality that exists there, it becomes impossible for your mind to be able to adjust to other realities that is not what you've experienced. I had a young man was saying something. He said that he left, I think, one city in Nigeria, and then he relocated to Abuja. So when he came to Abuja, he said Abuja was clean. He loved the serenity. He loved this. He loved that. Everything was good and fine. Like he was like he has made it in life until he moved to Qatar. He said his trip to Qatar. He said when he came back and he saw Abuja, he said Abuja became very dirty instantly. It is difficult for you to be able to fully experience certain kind of possibility in life that you're looking for without having first experienced it firsthand. So if you don't have the resources to travel, you are at liberty to be able to make that movement from your mind. You first of all start with your mind, start studying, read certain things, get your mind up and doing. Let your mind be so much filled with so much good information that it becomes almost difficult for your reality to remain the same. I tell people that you first of all have it in your mind before it gets to your hand. Your mind must crystallize that reality before your hand can be able to handle that reality. Your mind must be able to crystallize it before your hand can handle it. So get away from your environment, travel to better environment. Back then, before my finances changed and I was able to upscale my income, I was staying in a neighborhood that does not reflect where I'm going to. So what did I do? I left that place. I have to go to a wealthy um neighborhood and just walk around there just to see the houses, to see how good those houses are, to see the kind of cars that they are driving and all those things. I did that for a couple of times. Like I could do that like once or twice in a week so I can change what I've been feeding my mind on. It was not long after that I was able to move to similar environments. And over time, my finances began to increase. Your environment plays a lot when it has to do with the kind and quality of resources you are going to be having. Okay, so yes, so today we are going to be talking about the universal laws of wealth. Now, one thing, let's define the word laws and then we're going to define the word principle. So, a law is an equation that predicts a specific outcome under certain condition. So, what that means is that if the conditions are being met, you are guaranteed the result. If your conditions are being met, you are guaranteed the result. So, laws like laws of gravity, once you jump up, you must come down. In order for you to jump up and sustain in the air without you coming down, you have to now apply the law of aerodynamics, which can help you to lift up and stay in the air. But no matter what happened, that law of gravity superimpose the law of aerodynamics at a certain frequency. And that's the reason why the plane must have to come down, because whatsoever goes up must come down. Second thing, in order for you to be able to escape the rat race or escape poverty, you need to also bring in the law of escape velocity. So escape velocity law state that there is a minimum amount of speed that is needed for a particle to escape its reality. So that means you need certain level of light, you need certain level of speed, you need certain level of relationship in order for you to be able to live wherever you currently are. So now let's define the word principles. So principles are foundational truths, core belief, or conceptual rule that guide behavior, reasoning, and system. Right? So a law defines what happens, then principle explain why and how it actually happened. So your ability to be able to master certain laws and bring those laws to your subconscious. I tell people that if you want to make if you want to change your financial threshold, somebody said that you don't make money, you actually collect money. What that means is that we do not have the capacity to make money, because making money simply means we have to print it from scratch. It's only the government that have the ability to be able to make money. All we actually do is just to exchange goods and services and then collect money. So if you want to be able to collect money, tax collector. So if you want to be able to collect money, right, your subconscious mind must be able to work with your conscious mind. When you are at the age of, I think, from the age of either 2 or 3, your subconscious mind starts to develop. What that means is that I wish I could draw a diagram. What that means is that at that age, whatsoever is given to you enters into you. It's like there is no filter. So your subconscious mind is like a filter. Your conscious mind is like a filter that filters everything that comes into you, and then it can be able to take away the chaff and then retain those things that are of value. But when you are a child, before you clock the age of, I think, either 7, 8, or 9, where your consciousness begin to develop fully, right, your consciousness does not exist. So what that means is that anything that comes to your mind goes straight down into your subconscious state. And your life, your results, your finances, everything about your life will reflect your subconscious mind. So whatsoever that is currently in your, if you look at your results, if you look at your finances, if you even look at the person you are married to at the moment, it is based on the result of whatsoever is inside your subconscious mind. And that is the reason why your result is where it is, your finances is where it is, and the person you are married is the country, and everything is based on that subconscious mind. So if you want to change your finance, you have to start changing not your mind but the subconscious part of it, where you override the system in order for you to become it. That is the reason why meditation is powerful. Honestly speaking, anybody who does not spend time meditating, who does not spend time acquiring new knowledge, working in conscious effort to be able to change their reality by changing who they are, and then to be able to spend time meditating on the possibilities that they are looking to have, it is very difficult for them to work in that reality. So you can tell yourself, oh, I want to make $10,000 monthly. I want to make this, I want to make that. But once you hear the amount, you begin to even fight it. If somebody say, oh, I make 1K dollars this month, I make $10,000, I make this amount of money, you're going to fight it. Because why? Your subconscious mind does not believe that that possibility is a reality to you until you have it within you. That's the reason why if you stay in an environment that allows it, it kills that thing in you that brings up that negativity part of you. And this is one thing you must do. You must work in alignment to filter your mind, to work on your subconscious aspect of it. I don't know why I'm deviating to this part. This is not what I want to even talk about. My note is here, and this is what I want to talk about. Is already here. But I'm paying more attention to the mind. And I think this message has to be for somebody. You must pay attention to work and re-engineer your mind. See, trust me, it might take the major part is that, or the major problem is that it takes time to do that re-engineering. The reason is because over the past 20, 30 years of your life, this is all you know. And you think that because you read one book, or simply because you watch 1 or 2 minute video, automatically your mind should just start. No, it does not work that way. It took you 20 years to become this person. It's going to take you at least the next 3 to 5 years to be able to change that person within you. And you don't just change everything at once. is a gradual process, it's a process of transformation where you walk in and you start to renew your mind and you start saying that no, this person I am now is not the person I want to be in the future. You must come to that awareness of who you want to be and then go through the extra mile of studying to becoming that person. You must renew your mind. I think they say, do not be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the consistent renewal of your mind. It's a daily journey. It's something you do consciously and every day. If you're in your 30s, you're in your 30s and you're just learning at this is the first time you're just hearing about it. You have a lot of work to do. You can't even be playing as someone that is in their early 20s or in their teen age. They have very much advantage than you. So this is the time where you put in so much effort, so much energy, so much time to ensure that you consistently change that mindset that you currently have. Your inability to be able to change it is going to make sure that it's going to put your life at risk. You can People will tell you, oh, confess who you want to become. See, confession without meditation and the corresponding action to back up that confession is just manipulation in itself. People are just manipulating you. Oh, just tell yourself, yo, you are who you are today. You are a right person. Whatsoever you want come to you. You attract success. You can keep saying it and saying it and keep saying it, but the problem why it does not become your reality is simply because your subconscious mind is fighting that confession you are saying. As you're even saying it now, you feel it in your mind that this thing I'm saying, are you sure that is actually working? Are you sure it's working? But it's not working, no. You're already feeling it inside because a part of you is fighting that reality that you're saying. So this is the reason why we work with visual, we work with imagination, we work by keeping ourselves still and meditating and bringing ourselves to certain subconscious mind where you sit down and you play the kind of life you want. I know I told you to get out of your head and start working, but sometimes you have to play the kind of life you want. You have to see it as far as your eyes can see. As far as your that part is that you need to see it. If you need to watch videos that shows you the kind of life you should have, you watch those videos. If you need to travel to the country that shows you the kind of life you need to have, travel to that country. If you need to relocate to a location that gives you the kind and the quality of life you have, relocate. Do you know that according to the life expectancy of the of a Nigeria is 52 years? Is it 52 or 56? But it's between that age. It simply means that if you are staying in Nigeria, you have a higher chances of dying early. So this is the reason why we pray against death, we rebuke death, because every system within it is designed for people to actually die at that age, right? So you are thinking now you have a child, you are thinking their school fees, and fortunately for you, you have okay, children are blessings from God, and you have five of these blessings. You're not thinking of how do I pay five children's school fees? How do I sustain it? And all those things before you know, you get into depression, anxiety, fear start to creep in, and many other part of the life that we live in. So this is one of the things I will say. Travel, read a lot. If you can't travel, read books, read books, read books, read a lot of books, read a lot of books. There was a contemplation I was having. I'm not going to say that contemplation yet because mm, there was a contemplation I was having, and in that contemplation, it was as though I was not okay because remember I saw the world how it is, and I saw that something is wrong with the religion, the entire religion across the world, and something is also wrong with the schooling system. I saw these two things very early in life, and something is wrong with these two things. And the funny part is that when I was saying it, people are thinking that I didn't know what I was saying until I read the book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. When I read that book, the book was written in 1938. and the book confirmed everything I was contemplating about. And that's when I knew that something is actually wrong. I was not actually crazy. Something is really, really wrong with the world system. The educational system designed to keep people in abject poverty. That's what it. In fact, the system was designed to create more workforce, more workers, and more thinkers. Napoleon wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, an amazing book. I read it like I think that was like 7, 8 years ago. It's one of the book I also have in my archive to go back and go and read. It shows that if you can think, you can actually become wealthy, right? Because thinkers, there are two types. So let me put a balance to it, right? Because some people will say, "Oh, I'm a thinker. Why am I not wealthy?" There's the thinking aspect of life, and there's the doing aspect of life, right? So most people are okay. So welcome back. My apologies for that. I think my network went off. Please confirm if you can hear me and you're also with me. If at any point you can't hear me, please also let me know. Okay. So the world is divided into two. Not two, I think it's into three. There's the thinkers, the people who are the master strategists that organize the world at large. There's the doers, the people who enforces the law in order for those things to come to pass. And then there's the third one, the passerby. These are the people who they don't want to do anything. They are just a girl. They are just a boy. They just want to reap where they did not sow. Simply because simply because there's a scripture that said that you will reap where you do not sow. Most people think that is going to be the reality, right? Do you know that even your pastor do not say amen based on those prophecies that are just decreeing? Because they know that prophecy need action for it to work. Your pastor, most of the wealthy pastors do not become wealthy or not become famous by living their life based on prophecy, right? So they did not become famous, wealthy by living their life based on prophecy. They actually become that by becoming thinkers and doers. That's why we have a lot of people who just want to answer amen. All I just, Papa, just pray for me. So, there is a law. You have to follow this law. No, let's leave that law. Let's leave. I just pray for me. Like I made mention, there's a part of the spirituality of wealth. But today we're just focusing on the laws of wealth. So we're going to talk about maybe either next week we can look into the blood and money aspect of wealth. So there is a law already, right? So most people just prefer to shout amen. I receive. You see a car on the road. When I was even growing up, it was I saw that and I said something is wrong with this. What do you mean that I will see a car on the road and I will touch it and say I claim this car in the name of is not right. It wasn't making sense to me. I claim it. You don't, that's not how things are done. You don't become your billionaires, even your pastor do not become wealthy by claiming people property. That's being covetous, that's being stealing, that's even becoming greedy, right? So I knew that these are the two pillars that actually hold the entire society. Religion, one, then number two, the schooling system. I knew that something was actually wrong with the two of them, with the current system that was being portrayed to the people. I just knew that, oh no, I know what to take and I know what not to take. I began to make research and to study. When I came across Napoleon Hill and I was listening to him, I just knew that yes, I was right. I was right. I'm like Napoleon Hill, the thinker. I was right at what was going on. Right? It's now for we to not actually become doers. So if you want to read a book, please go and get this book, Outwitting the Devil. It's actually a great book. It's going to shape your mind. It's going to help you see life in a very different perspective, right? So spend more time meditating. This is how you there's this guy, Bill Gates. Bill Gates was the richest man for I think almost a decade or more than a decade. And the reason why he was the richest man was simply because he said that at a point either once in a month, but he usually go for periodic usually go for retreats where he spent like a lot of time thinking, meditating, and planning. Then when he comes back, he's on fire, doing things and whatnot. So he read a lot of book, increase his mind and all that. So you have to expand your mind. At the moment, if I open your mind now, the kind of junks that's inside it, you can't be wealthy like that. It's not going to be possible. You have so much weight that it's difficult for wealth to even sit inside. For you to be able to hold certain amount of wealth, you have to be as light as possible because wealth in itself is heavy. Like it's very, very heavy. You have to be as light as possible. You have to come to a point, and that's the part of the spirituality of wealth. You have to come to a point where you become light, you become like feather. That's when you can be able to host certain dimension of wealth. If you want to make money here and there, offer skill set, offer your services, and you'll be fine. But if you're looking at wealth, you have to come to a point where you become light. Certain things will have to die in your life. One asks wealthy people, they will tell you that certain things will have to die in your life. Everything cannot run at the same time. Some things will die for that aspect to come alive. If you want to make money and be fine, that can work. But if you want to really build wealth, you must be able to come to a point where you die to flesh. Flesh have to give way. You are tired, but you must do it. Like you must learn to just do it. You must learn to just. That's why I like Nike's slogan. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Okay, so we're going to be talking about laws of um the laws of wealth, and the first law is called the law of value creation, right? So you need to understand that money follows value. That's what money does. So if you solve a bigger problem, you're going to earn more money. If you solve a painful problem, you're going to earn money faster. And then if you solve a profitable problem, you're going to stay rich. Now, when it has to do with value, your reward is tied to two things, right? The value you provide, three rather, the value you provide, the audience you provide the value for, and the difficulty in replacing you. It is not just enough to be valuable. Your value must be useful and needed. Your value must be useful and needed. Your value must be useful and needed. It is not just enough to be valuable. Your value has to be useful and your value has to be needed. There are certain people that are valuable, but their value is no longer needed. And because their value is not needed, nobody is going to pay attention to them. People will reward you based on the value you provide. So if you solve a problem, you are going to be rewarded. But if you solve, that reward will be determined based on the person problem that you solve. For instance, if you solve a poor man's problem, you will be given a poor man's reward. If you solve a rich man problem, you will be given a rich man's reward. It is just simple. So you have to choose the kind of audience that you want to give your value to, right? So the kind of audience that you're creating that value for will determine the kind of reward you want to get. Somebody said something, I think it's Alex Homozy. He said that if you want to make more money, do two things. Number one, sell very low, right? Sell to poor people, but at a large number, or sell very expensive to rich people. Do not be in the middle. It's either you're selling a very low ticket offer to a large number of people, or you're selling a high ticket offer to a very reduced audience, right? But if you're looking to sell, if you want to be in the middle, the chances of you dying is very, very high, because most people want to either pay you because you're expensive or to pay you because you are cheaper. You have to choose which one you want to be. So create value. Be a valuable person, not just valuable person. Be a productive person. Be someone who can be able to turn $1 to $2 and $2 to $3. It is very, very important. Your ability to be able to become as valuable as possible, right? Find the audience you want to serve, refine it, refine that value, refine that value. I was speaking with a young lady today, and she was saying that she's moving to a bigger space because of her business. That's it. Value, value. She has chosen the offer and the value that she has, and she has chosen the audience that she is going to serve. Another friend of mine, she's not medium. The prices that she charge for you to wear her clothes is expensive. Vicky James, expensive, right? High ticket, right? Sell high ticket to high-end customers. They will see, people will save money to pay for it. I'm telling you, if you become very valuable, people will save money to pay for it. No matter how much, they will plan it. This one they say, oh, I can't afford it. It's just that you're not valuable enough. If you are valuable enough, you are productive enough, you become so good at what you are delivering, people will literally pay any amount. The reason why crude oil is sold in its raw form is cheaper is simply because it is in its raw form. Once you refine the crude oil, it becomes very expensive. Same thing with gold. If you buy gold in its raw form, if you even see gold in its raw form, you might throw it away. If you even buy it in its raw form, it's very cheap, right? But once you refine it and it goes through that process, it becomes expensive. Make up your mind, and you will not just become valuable, you have to be productive. That once somebody listen to you, once somebody wear your outfit, once somebody buy your product, your delivery is consistent. I love Melanie Pine, and the reason most of us know the parfait, Melanie Pine parfait. I love the parfait, and the reason is because that parfait is the same yesterday, today, and forever. I don't know about forever, but yesterday and today is the same, right? And tomorrow is going to be the same, right? So if I bought Melanie Pine yesterday, it tastes the same way I bought it today. It's going to taste the same way I bought it, or it's going to taste the same way I'm going to buy it. If I'm going to buy it tomorrow, it will taste the same way. When I want to buy it in the next 5 weeks, I'm having the same mind that it's going to test the same way. I can't pay for a product today, and today is looking good, tomorrow is looking bad. No, you must come to a point of mastery. Whatever skill set or value you're looking to offer, you must pay the price to come to that point of mastery, whereby you can deliver that product, you can deliver that service, even when they wake you up without preparation. So if I tap you now and I wake you, if I just ask you or I bring you up to stage and I ask you what skill set, what value can you offer me now? And you start to think about the value you can offer, it simply means you are not productive. It simply means you have to go back to the room. Once I ask you, you should know the value you can provide at that moment, at that time. This is the solution, this is the problem I solve, or this is the problem I've noticed, and this is the solution I provide. If you are unable to provide that solution, forget it. If you're unable to bring it and make it very clear the kind of value you provide to the market, people are not going to take you serious. So you have to come to the point of value. You have to come to the point of mastery. You have to come to the point not just becoming valuable, but becoming productive and coming to the point of mastery, where you can your product is the same yesterday, today, and forever. This is one of the reasons we serve God, and we, to an extent, no matter how we talk about the God part, we always will find a way to include the certain part. The reason between in fact, the major similarity between the two of them is that they are the same. Satan has not changed his attribute, God has not changed his, like that, one and the same. God the same yesterday, today, forever. I think I saw was it I think it was Pastor Kingsley that made a flyer Satan the same yesterday, today, and forever. Something like that. I think I saw something that looks like that. Right? So is because it's the same. You have to come to that point where your result become predictable. If I see a gown from Vicky James, I knew that this one was made by Vicky James. I just knew. So you must come to that point where your product is predictable. That the person that pays the least amount of money and the person that pays the most amount of money gets similar results. A bottle of water is the same if you buy the bottle of water in if you buy ever now, right? If I buy any bottle water, right, you buy it in a kiosk, you buy it for say 150 naira, or yes, 150 naira, those in Nigeria, so for 150 naira, or you buy it $1 in a kiosk in a small shop. If you go to a high-end eatery, you're going to buy the same water for $2, $5, whatever dollar that is being sold, 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, right? But the content of that water did not change. It is the same. That is how you should be. That is how you should be. You must come to that point of mastery where the product and the services you offer is the same. Until you can meet it, if I tell you that I can do this number for you, I should be able to produce that number for you. Irrespective of whatsoever, this number, I will do it. So come to the point of mastery. So number 2 is the law of leverage. I so much love this, right? You cannot become successful if you don't know how to leverage these 4 things. Number 1, if you don't know how to leverage people's time, you must know how to leverage the time of people. This is the reason why wealthy people have team, they have organization, and they have a lot of people working for them. They use the time of other people to make money. I was talking with my dear friend, and she was telling me something about, oh, they increased their KPI in their organization, but they did not increase their salary. So that's it. They've mastered how to use your time to make more money. It's just how it is. They've mastered how to use your time to make more money. And the people at the top do not need to go through those KPIs or think of it. All they just need to do is become thinkers, right? See, this is how the hierarchy is. If you're a thinker, you can either you become a thinker and a doer at the initial stage. They employ doers who have little ability to think here and there that can help them to achieve KPI but not build system. Right? Their thinking can help them to achieve KPIs, but their thinking cannot help them to build systems. Okay, so you must master how to use other people's time to make money, not just your time alone, but the time of other people to be able to make more money. You go to the point where you make more money. She was complaining, they increased our KPIs. Oh, me, I've achieved my KPIs for the past 2 months, but this thing, that's how many other organizations are complaining. Many people in certain organizations are complaining. They've increased the workload, but they've not increased the pay. Go and read your Bible in Exodus. Is in the scripture where when the Egyptians, no, when the Israelites were slaves to the Egyptians. Remember, the Israelites did not come into Egypt as slaves. It was hunger that brought them to Egypt. First of all, hunger will take you to places you don't want to go. That's why you must work hard, trust whatever deity you are serving, whether Satan or God, trust it to be able to produce you with adequate results that you want in life. Right? Because hunger will take you to the place you do not want to go. It's just it. So it was hunger that took Israelites to the land of Egypt. And because of hunger took them to the land of Egypt, they became slaves to the Egyptians. The same thing is even happening in today's realities. Hunger is making a lot of people to japa. And when they japa, they become slaves to that system. Only few people who japa was able to become a lord and a master in that system. Others become slaves to that system. It's just the same way. It have not changed. Bible history remains the same. If you read Bible history and you study history very well, you know that the world we are living in No, the only thing that changes is just technology. But when it has to do with principles and laws, all of them remain the same. It just remains the same. Every other thing that just changes is just innovation here and there. But the core belief system of laws and principles, those ones remains the same. Right? So you must master how to use other people's time. So the Israelites, hunger took them to Egypt, and then because of hunger, they become slave. So when they were complaining that they needed their freedom, what did the um, Egyptians do? They said it is because you have more time you are complaining. So what are we going to do? Take away tasks from them. Let them. So tasks represent cement in today's reality. Let them use their hand and go and hustle and make cement so that they can be able to build us the blocks we are using. So what did they do? They increased their workload and reduced their reward. That's just it. It's a very crazy system we live in, and you must become a master of it. There is nothing like democracy, there is nothing like fairness. The world is either you are a slave or a master. That is how the world is designed to be. It's either you are a slave or a master. And the master has known how to be able to use the slave, other people time to make money, and then giving them certain kind of reward, peanut, for them to be able to be okay. If you are starting out in life, it is okay for you to collect those peanuts, but you should not remain there forever. You should also come to a point where you become the master, and then you now have, slave under you. Right? It's a harsh reality, but I need to say this for you to wake up. Okay, so you must master how to use other people's time to make money. The more time you have, and the more time you're able to. The reason I'm in this class today is because I have the time to do it. That's the reason. If I didn't have the time, I won't be here. One. Second reason I'm here is because I have the resources to do it. If I didn't have it, I will not be here. Because why? This thing is free, but it costs money. There've not been lights. My gen has been on, right? Because I have to do this class. I have to buy data. I have to pay for the software that I'm using. So if you calculate everything plus the time I'm giving to you for free, the knowledge I'm giving to you for free, are you getting me? So if you don't have certain kind of resources, it becomes very difficult for you to be able to make your own rules. One of the ways you can do, one of the things you can do under the laws of leverage is for you to be able to master the time, to master how to use other people's time to be able to make money. The more time of other people you can use, the more money you can make. The more time of other people you can use, the more money you can make. This cut across every sector. In your religious space, you can see who is the wealthiest person, the pastor who is at the top of the pyramid scheme. The person who is at the top of the pyramid, the wealthiest person of all. Then every other person look up to that other person, and his ability to be able to master the system and use other people's time to be able to make more money. So the more time of other people you can use, the more money you can make. But now we live in a different world where the more time of other technologies you can use, right? The more technologies you can use, the more money you can make. The more technology you can use to be able to scale your system, the more money you can make. Not just other people's time, leverage. You must know how to use either other people's time or other technologies to give you more time. Same thing happen in organization. The more the company expand, the more the person at the top make more money. It's the same. It's just the harsh reality of life. That's what I'm just telling you, right? Whether you decide to become it or not. But I can tell you that is a different ball game. The ability for you to be able to climb up to that path is not easy. It's not going to be an easy journey. So you not decide. Even Jesus Christ said that narrow is the path, or the gate to life, but broad is the road that leads to destruction. The road that leads to destruction is broad. Everybody follows it. But the one that leads to life is very narrow. Is very, very narrow. Because why? The reason why it's narrow is that you will have to take away a lot of your baggages, a lot. Many things cannot follow you through that journey. Most people rise to that point. Do you know what some of them sacrifice their health to get there? Some of them sacrifice their sleep to get there. Some of them sacrifice their family. Check most of them. Some of them are divorced. Some of them sacrifice their family to get there. Some of them sacrifice their um, friends and relatives to get there. So there has to be something that has to go down because it is narrow, right? But broad is the path that leads you to destruction. I tell people that anything that reach the masses, once the masses is aware of anything, forget about it. The rich people, the elite have already made money out of it and they've gone out of it. If the masses are aware of anything now, once it hits the mass media, just know that the rich people have pulled out of it and it's just for them now to just harvest what the mass media is getting, what the masses are putting and bringing on board, right? So if you want to even scam a wealthy man, you have to be much intelligent than a wealthy person. Because why? It's either the wealthy man greed that kills him. Because he have access to many resources. He has his lawyer, he has his accountant, he has people that can be able to vet everything you bought, they can vet it here and there. But to scam a poor person is simple. Just say, Emeka, did you know that if you give me 5,000 naira now, I will give you 200k by tomorrow? Emeka will give you his 5,000 naira. It's easy to scam him. Because why? Greed. There is no adequate system that protects his resources. He's always looking for a cheap way out. I was listening to something and he said that it takes skill set to make money, but it takes time to build wealth. It takes time and system to actually build wealth. So you must master the ability to be able to use other people's time, other people time or technology to make money. Right? So the second one is capital. You must know how to use money to make more money or other people money to make more money. Elon Musk wanted to buy Twitter and he didn't use his money to buy the Twitter. What did he do? He went and collect loan and stake his shares in Tesla and collect loan to buy Twitter. Second thing, I think, was it Amazon, Jeff Bezos, who wanted to build a company and he didn't use his money to build this company. He called all his friends and family and raised money to build that company, to set up the company. I have an idea. No, I have the money, but I don't. You must master how to use people money to make more money. It's very important. How to use other people's resources to make more money. If you're only going to be using your own money to make more money, it's going to be difficult and there's a little amount of money that you can actually make, right? So you must master how to use other people's money to make more money. You must master how to make more money to work for you. You must know how to use money to work for you without putting in your time. So master how to use other people's time, master how to use technology, master how to use people's money to make more money, right? Then the fourth one is you must master code. So code is like technology. I just made mention of it, technology. So you must master code or technology, right, to make more money. You must know how to use technology to make money. You must know how to use automation, AI systems. See, let me just talk about technology a little bit. I was telling my people that AI is not intelligent. That artificial intelligence is dependent on your intelligence for it to work. So most people think that, oh, AI is smart. AI is not smart. AI is a reflection. The AI system you use is a reflection of you itself. The intelligence of your AI system is dependent on your own intelligence. If you are dumb, your AI will produce dumb answer. It has nothing to do with prompting. Others, learn prompt engineering. Once you master prompt engineering, you will know how to prompt your AI to give you better output. It's not it. If your AI is not giving you better outputs, the major problem is you. That's just the honest truth. The major problem is you. You are not intelligent enough to communicate to that AI to be able to give you an intelligent answer. I'm sorry, but that's the harsh reality. So you are not intelligent enough to communicate with AI for AI to give you that intelligent answer. So if you want your AI to work effectively for you, you must first of all build yourself intelligently. That's the reason why I have problem with people who just want AI to leverage, want AI to do everything for them. AI is a garbage in, garbage out. If you don't even know what you want from AI, AI will just give you anything that it gives to you. AI is just like a reflection of your entire life itself, right? How you use it is a reflection of who you are, not how AI is designed to operate. Right? So I hope this makes sense and I hope nobody's offended. Just take it as the harsh truth that your AI system is a reflection of you. If your AI is not giving you results, it simply means that you are the one not giving you are the one not giving the AI the result that you want it to give to you. So code, your ability to be able to use technology to make more money. You can use AI. I was telling my team that we are in a time where AI can make you a lot of money if you know how to build AI solutions, AI systems. By the way, if you want to learn how to build AI system, I currently have a course on it already. Right, you could just get it. It's very affordable, very affordable. So you could just get it and invest in yourself when it has to do with AI and know how you can be able to use AI effectively. Right, so you could just go and get it. I think go to my IG account, you see a link in bio. It's called AI Automation Program. AI Automation. So just get it and go through it. Okay, so you must master how to use technology to be able to make more money. At this point we live in, you can be able to build an AI system, and that AI system can make you hundreds of thousands of dollars without you having to hire anybody. People are building vibe coding app. There's one guy that built um there's this software he built. I've forgotten it. Hmm. Yes, a gaming system. He built one game with AI, everything done with AI, and many people are playing that game, and it's making him a lot of money. Not just the game, there are many other systems here and there, and it's making him a lot of money. So AI is going to make you thousands of money if you just know how you can be able to use it effectively. And if you want to know how to use technologies and AI, just go and get that course. You're going to learn a lot about it, right? Then the fourth one is content. Okay, just like this one, I'm giving you content, and this is the part that school uses, religious settings use, the ability to be able to provide content to a large number of people by leveraging social media. I was telling somebody that if I'm speaking to, let's say for instance, not if I'm, because I'm going to do that very soon. So when I'm speaking to a 1 million audience, right? So we have 1 million people and I'm talking to 1 million people. It's a different ball game at that level. My reward is going to be different from when I'm speaking to 100 people. Because why? I have access to a million people listening to me. The rich is there, the poor is there, and they're in numbers. Out of that 1 million people, maybe 5% of them can convert, and if 5% convert, is a numbers game. Don't let anybody deceive you. When it has to do with content, content is a numbers game. You can't do much if you have limited number. Content is a numbers game. That's the reason why somebody who has a platform of over 2 million and who knows how to utilize it will not be poor, because he has 2 million people he can always make money from every now and then. And this is one of the major system the religious settings use across different religion, right? So why? They have a large numbers of subscribers who are subscribing to their platform every single month. There's a name they call it. I'm not going to call that name, but every single month they are subscribing to their platform, and even me, I'm part of the subscribers too. So don't, some of you don't feel bad. So me, I'm also part of the subscribers. So every single month we are subscribing, and that is how they make money. If you want to make money, find a solution that goes on subscription. I've noticed that the easiest way to make money is selling a subscription based solution. This is one of the major problems when it has to do with courses, right? So for people who sell digital products, most especially if you live in certain part of the world like Africa, who do not like subscription based products, if you are selling the product to them, It's majorly on a one-time basis, and that's it. They've gone. So you can't make more money from those people. So if master how the religious centers are growing, master how religious system actually, if you know how they work, you can implement that same system into your business and it will work. Is a law, is a principle. You just need to study it. The problem is that most of us don't study. What we just do is to go there and go and receive. I receive, I receive, I receive. That's the reason why most times your life is not better. Because why? You fail to study. So study how, no, not you, but many people, because I know if you are here, your life is going to be better, or your life is actually better. But that's the reason why many people, because why? They're going to that system to just receive. They're not sitting down to study the system. How does this system actually work? How does this system operate? How is this system being financed? How is this system being managed? Oh, I see that it gives content every now and then. It creates content because what all of them, every one of our leaders does is to create content. They are also content creators, right? Just that this time they are religious content creator. So they are creating content, they're giving content to a large number of people. Remember, content is part of leverage. They're giving content to a large number of people. Wow, they're giving content to 100. Interesting. Okay. Oh, so this content is being monetized on social media. Oh, okay. They're making money from social media. Oh, the content help people to make more money. And because the content, based on the law of compensation, we say that every value has to be rewarded. It simply means that if their content makes somebody make more money, that person will come back and give him a reward. Interesting. Okay. So that's why this person, that's why this religious leader is being rewarded. Oh, okay. You also have a system of subscription where every time they showed up, it is free, but there's a token that people are allowed to pay. But now they didn't tell them to pay the token. It's not compulsory. It's free. It's free. We are not forcing you to pay it, but you have to pay that token, right? If you don't pay it, there's somebody upstairs that's going to be angry with you. Okay. Okay. So that means I can offer free something, and then when people come on board, I can charge them a little token for that same thing I'm offering for them for free. Interesting. A smart idea. And then I'll be like, oh, aside from that token, I hope you also know that you also have year and year monthly subscription. You have to pay your monthly subscription, otherwise things will not work for you. Interesting. Oh, so they're making more money by having monthly subscription. Ah, okay. Interesting. So you study the system. So this is how the system operates. You then implement that system in your business. So you ask yourself, okay, so what can I give to people for free that can help them to come and give me pay a little token, but they're getting it for free, but it will sound like it's free, but they're paying a little token for it. How can I move to subscription base? I was telling someone that if I was selling a beauty product, right, all my customers, I will put them on a monthly subscription basis, whereby I know that okay, this person buys a product of 200k, and that product lasts her for like 2 months, or for like 3 months, right? Let's say for instance the product lasts her for like 3 months or 4 months. Let's use 3 months. So I know that every 3 months she's buying a product of 200k. So instead of her doing that, what if I create a system that helps her to make a monthly installment every single month? So that the money does not become too much. So every month she's paying me 50k. That means I'm making more money by that. Okay, makes sense. What if I now introduce consultancy inside that same system? You can see I'm making more money. What if I now introduce a guide inside that system? So you must know how to sell product on subscription basis. This is one of the things I'm also figuring out, and I've figured it out, and I'm working on implementing at the moment. Right? Now that I figured it out, I'm also making, that's one thing with salary. Salary is a monthly subscription. At least at the end of the month, you are sure of something. So there's a subscription coming to you every single month. There's a monthly subscription coming to you every single month. So salary here and there is also a monthly subscription. So you must master the system, right? Content is one way you can leverage in order for you to make more money. So let me run through the part of leverage again. One, people time. Number two, people's money. Number three, code, AI, and automation. Then number four, content. Then let's go into the third one. So what's the third law of wealth and abundance, of wealth and principle? So the third law is called the law of ownership. So you make money by owning a part of it, right? Either you make money by owning an equity, you make money by owning an asset, you make money by owning an intellectual property, you make money by owning a system. The reason why Paystack will always make money is simply because Paystack operates on system. It Paystack is not just a payment gateway. Paystack is a payment infrastructure. What that means is that everybody building anything uses Paystack. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Everybody using, if you are selling a product, if you're using this product to buy something, Paystack is in it. Paystack is like that of Stripe. How Stripe has been able to conquer major part of the world. That's how Paystack is. I think to Nigeria and to a large part Africa or West Africa to some extent. So you are selling this product, you must use Paystack. You are selling that product, you must use Paystack. You are doing it, you must use Pay. Whether you like it or not, you must use Paystack. That's part of the system. They own every aspect of. They've been able to build monopoly to it. There's Flutterwave, but how many people use Flutterwave? It's very. I'm not talk bad about organizations, so let's just leave it. But it's unreliable, sure. Right? But Paystack has been able to do it well. So you must own equity. It's either you're building a business and then you're owning a part of that business. You're building one of the major problems in Nigeria and Africa is we focus on individuality a lot. Where is my business, is my money, is my company, is my just want to be one person. I rather own 1% of $1 million company than own 100% of $1,000 company. It does not make sense. It does not make sense. I prefer let me own just 1%. Somebody that owns one, there's a company, I think it was Money Point, when Money Point sold their share. A company, an investor that owned, I think either like less than 2% of the company, went home with $8 million. He does own less than 2%. It's my company. I want to own everything. You want to own everything. You don't want to collaborate with other people. Bring people on board. Let them see the system. Right? So the laws of ownership. Right? So either you're owning an equity or you're owning an asset, which is very important, or you're owning an intellectual property. There's a lot of money in intellectual property, IP, here and there. You release a song, somebody's using your song, they're paying you royalties here and there and whatnot. Right? There's systems and whatnot. Then number 4, the law of compounding. Is a lot here, so we have like 12 laws, but I may not give us the entire 12 laws. So wherever we stop, we stop. So the law of compounding. So it's called the compounding effect, whereby you build wealth over a period of time. I said that making money is fast, building wealth takes time, right? Where it takes time to build system, right? Whereby 1 becomes 2, and 2 becomes 3, and 3 becomes 4 over time. Okay, so money compound, skill compound, relationship compound, reputation compound, right? So the 5th one is called the law of focus. Remember our first illustration where we had a lens, right? You can do it, take a lens and then channel it to the sun and let the sun focus its entire rays, its rays to that lens, and then you put something on that, it's going to burn you instantly. That's the law of focus. Your ability to be able to focus on one thing. When I hear people say, oh, I just launched my second company, to some extent, I'm like, is it necessary at this level? The first one you launch, are you unless you're shutting down the first one, then it's fine. But saying that you want to run the 2 concurrently, and you're thinking that you're going to build, is not going to be possible. It will not be, you will deplete your energy and your finance, right? So it is best to focus on one. If you want to become an employee, focus on it and stay there. There's nothing wrong in becoming an employee, right? There's nothing wrong in it. There, you can rise to the top of becoming an MD and whatnot. So you can rise to those top, right? But you have to focus on it. If you want to become a singer, you focus on it. It's not today you are singing, tomorrow you are a drama artist, next tomorrow you are a musician, the next time we looked at you, you become a a skit maker. By the time, give me a minute, let me just take this water. By the time we look at you today, you become a like you are everything to everybody. You're not gonna grow that way. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna find one thing and focus on it. Check your religious leader. You people will not learn. Check your religious leader. One thing. Somebody have been teaching on faith for the past 20 years. Everything is teaching on is faith. One thing for 20 years. Today you are a pastor, tomorrow you are an apostle, next tomorrow you are an imam. The other time you look at you become a prophet. You are confused. Call me apostle. I don't know. The way they might call it is an evangelist. Stay in one place. I'm a business owner. Stay in one place. Stay in one place. Let's know how we can get you. Stay in one place. The law of focus. Another person has been teaching on prosperity for 20 years. One person has been teaching on healing for 30 years. Right? The law of focus. Pick one thing and stay on it. Only you is selling shoe. Only you is selling bag. Only you is selling clothes. Only you is selling hair. Only you is selling is a content creator. You are a digital marketer. You are you abba. Stay one place. There's one girl that sells bag. I think her name is Fine Funky. All she sells is she didn't add shoe to the bag she's selling. And some of you know her. You've seen the numbers she has done. Bags. Melanie Pine, parfait. If I call your name now, what should come to my mind? Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Elon Musk, Tesla. He owns Twitter and many other things, but Tesla, Chicken Republic, food. You won't go there and see them selling shoe. Beauty empire. Only you selling everything in the beauty industry. Relax. Find one thing and focus on that thing. When I started my digital marketing agency, Forest came. I did not move. Affiliate marketing came. I did not move. There were a lot of things that came. I did not move. Do you know that my agency was at the peak of scaling when I got the instruction to shut it down? And the reason why we got to that altitude was I stayed one place. I was not jumping from one place to another. It got to a point where I was able to meet top executives, top people within the industries, and good, amazing connections. Because I stayed one place. People have to know you for a particular thing that you provide. If we don't know you for that one thing you are providing, it is difficult for we to work with you. You can offer everything, but you should have one major product that you are known for. If I talk about Nike, first thing that comes to your mind is shoe. They have clothes, they have top, they have sneakers, they have socks, they have different part of the brand, but one product stand out, their shoes. I mentioned Jordan, shoes. If I mentioned Michael Jordan, remember he's a basketballer. He's not a basketballer today and a table tennis player tomorrow. And then he becomes a sportsman by the next tomorrow. Find one thing and stay on it. Even for the instruction that came and I just saw that, we have to just shut down Throne Digital, we would have still been in operation by now and have been scaling higher. So find one thing and stay on it. And the earlier you identify it, the better it is for you. Look at Pastor Emmanuel Iren started at CCI when he was 22, 23. It's not a shock where the church is today. It's not a shock because he found it and he stayed on it. There is nothing as sweet as finding that thing early and finding it early and staying on it. Find it, find it. You can't be looking for it at the age of 40, 50. So there's a part of the scripture I love. It said that a woman had 10 coins, or let me just say 10 coins, right? And one of them fell down. He said she turned on the light and she began to search. The reason why it fell off in the first place was because there was darkness, lack of knowledge. There was darkness. And if there is darkness, a lot of things can go wrong. So she began to search and search and search, and she found it. So find one thing and stay on it. The law of focus is when you've built to a certain phase that you now begin to diversify. If all you want to do is to sell food, inside that food, pick like 2 or 3 and stay on that one. Can you cook egusi soup? I dey cook am. You be electrician, I be electrician. I dey find person wey go do wey go give my wife injection. I dey do am too. They do everything. If I ask you and I say, oh, the country, the way the country is, you have to do many things at the same time, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I agree. It's not just in Nigeria. If you go over in the Western places, they're doing 2 shifts, they're doing 3 shifts here and there. Right? I agree. But find one thing and stay on it. If I mention Aproko, doctor, you just know he's doctor. If I mention Sabinos, you know he's a skit maker. If I mention Tinubu, you know he's a politician. It is easy to succeed if you are known for one thing. If people can know you for delivery, if I mention Vicky James, you know it's fashion. You are not confused that Vicky James is a fashion. You are not confused. But if I mention your name now, I'm racking my head. So what exactly do you do? Find something and stick to that thing. Become very good at it and deliver it at a very excellent level. Right? So find one skill, master it, find one vehicle, scale it, then find the direction and go. So the direction can change. Sometimes the vehicle can change, but majorly is that the services you're offering does not change. You can upskill yourself. Yes, you can upgrade, right? For people who have, like me now, I used to be a digital marketer, but I'm no longer a digital marketer. You can't call me a digital marketer. I won't answer you. Somebody was asking you, so what should we call you? I don't say just call me an entrepreneur, a business tycoon, right? You can call me a business, can call me a business leader. I can answer that. You can call me a philosopher, I can answer that, right? But find one thing and just stay on that thing. Okay. Then number 6 is called the law of timing. We need to find a place to close. So it's called the law of timing. So you must master the ability to be able to move faster. When AI started coming up, I was part of the early movers. People who can run faster will get better and faster results. People who can implement faster will get faster results. So you must have the ability to be able to implement as fast as possible. Okay, so you must know how to implement fast. If you have an idea now, find a way to implement that idea fast. Know whether the idea is working, and then dump it and jump up to the next one. Then the next one is called the law of risk and reward. Number 7, the law of risk and reward. So the law of risk and reward. Okay, so if you don't know how to take calculated risk, you won't make money. You must master how to take risk. You must know how to control you must find what is called you must find your risk appetite. There's certain people that have a risk appetite. They can jump in. See, if you're not married, take a lot of risk. The highest thing that can happen is you'll be broke. That's the highest thing that can happen. You know, that's the highest thing. But if you're a young person, take a lot of risk. And those risks you are taking is actually what gives you the money. It's like, see your risk. If you lose, right? If you lose money by you trying to venture into something, it simply means you've paid your school fees to the school of life. It's called the University of Life. You've paid your school fees to the University of Life. So it is best to get feedback, test it, right? Get feedback, iterate. It's called design thinking. Your ability to be able to um, build from the end forward, right? You know what you want and then you start to build it, right? Design thinking. So you must know your risk and reward. If you don't know how to take risk, if you don't know how to calculate risk, you will see a lot of people making it. And then you'll be wondering, why is your life not like this? At first, when you take low risk, right, it will look like your life is making movements compared to someone that take high risk and loss. Someone can take high risk, lose it, take high risk. Please, if you have a family, don't go and gamble yourself. Oh, I'm not the one advising you. You have a family, you are married, there are a lot of people depending on you. Don't go and take high risk. A lot of people are depending on you. But if you're a young person like me, you're not married, you're enjoying your life, take all the risk possible. What's the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? As long as you're not dead, you're not dead, you're still healthy, no part of your body is lost, every other thing will be fine. If it's money that you just lost to come back, this one is a guarantee, the money will come back. Learn the lesson. The reason there's something I learned from life. They say that life will continue to teach you a lesson until you have learned it, understood it, and do it differently. Life will continue to teach you a lesson until until you have learned the lesson, you've understood what you did wrong, right? And then you do it differently. Once you, oh, okay, so, oh, this is the reason why I did it this way. You've learned the lesson. That life no longer holds within itself. That same thing you're struggling with will no longer be able to teach you that lesson. If it continues to teach you more lessons, somebody is manipulating the atmosphere for you. They are manipulating it for you. Otherwise, once you've learned the law, once you've learned the lesson, you are, so for instance, maybe you wanted to invest in something and they scammed you and you lost your money and you refuse to learn the lesson as to why were you scammed? How did you fall into it? Okay, what is this company about? Why did I fall into this company? How did they scam me? Well, if you refuse to pay attention to it and to learn it, you will be a victim of the next scam. I can guarantee you this one. It doesn't matter. 2, 3, 5 years down the line, another person will scam you. But once you've learned the lesson, it hold no ground. You can't fall victim to it. That's called discernment. You have discernment automatically due to the experience you've gotten. Right? So the law of risk and reward. You must know, you must take risk. Without any risk, there is no reward. We were speaking to, I think, to Nelu Melu, they were asking him how he became this influential and wealthy. And he said that he took risk. That he was at the point in his life where he can take that risk and he took it. So you must learn to take it. As long as it does not kill you, then you'll be fine. Then the eighth one is called the law of perception. You need to understand that reality does not exist. Reality is a function of a perceived value or a perceived knowledge and understanding. What you think is, I was telling somebody that what you think you like, you don't really like it. It is because they've created a perception about that thing that makes you think you like it. For instance, when Coke wanted to sell their product, Coke did two things. It created a perception called Father Christmas, number one, that has become a culture today. Father Christmas is called Santa Claus. Santa Claus was designed by Coca-Cola, I think in the in the mid 90s or thereabout, to be able to penetrate into the market. Santa Claus. That's number one, passive value. Second thing that happened also that Coca-Cola did was they created a lot of feelings and happiness. If Coca-Cola comes in now, you drink it to some extent, you feel a little bit happy. Unnecessary, but it's true. Just feel happy. And then the third part is they took away water and replaced it with Coke. Coca-Cola is not even competing with Pepsi. They're not even competing with other Coca-Cola company. They're competing with water. They did their campaign in a way that if you are eating, drink Coca-Cola. If you are dehydrated, take Coca-Cola. If you are this, so they created a perceived value. Without the narration of creating that value, by telling their story consistently using mass media, it is going to be difficult for people. If you say Coca-Cola, you won't want to take it. In fact, according to many research, they say Pepsi tastes better than Coca-Cola. So they removed the leather and they tested Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and all of them said Pepsi tastes better. But when they brought it back inside the branded Coca-Cola, inside the brand, and they drank Coca-Cola, they drank Pepsi, people say Coca-Cola tastes better. The reason why Coca-Cola tastes better is because of a perceived value, not because it actually tastes any better. It's just sugar and color. Perceived value. Perceived value. Right? So it's very important that, and please, if you are a parent here and you have a child, do your best not to give your children sweet things when they are young. Right? Go and make more research about it. Avoid it. Do your best to avoid it. Avoid it. Then I'm seeing it. Most of these sickness that are children related are caused by them. Processed food, processed drink, everything canned, all this, avoid it. That's why you see that majority of people that are healthy, our parents, they were to an extent healthy, right? Our great grandparents were very, in fact, they lived very old because why? They consumed a lot of natural substances. So do your best if you are building a child, not just you have children, you are thinking of having children in the future, try your best. Look for a lot of natural substances and give to them. Do your best to avoid a lot of processed food here and there. There are a lot of food, fruits, herbs that are good for children. All you just have to do is get the knowledge, study it, and give them. Stop giving them pizza. I saw one of my friend child, and this guy is just barely 8 years, and the woman is not big, her husband is not big, and the child is just like, and then he was still eating pizza. Haba, you want to destroy the child life? Before you know that they'll be treating one problem or the other that was not even meant to exist. I don't know how I got here, but I'm here now. So if you have a child, if you know somebody that have a child, tell them. Let them stop giving their children too much processed food. We are having overdeveloped children. Overdeveloped children. If you go to America, a lot of overdeveloped children, sicknesses here and there, fighting them up and down. Because why? A lot of they've re-engineered their food so much that is bad. So if you study I've forgotten the name they call it, you're going to see that it boils down from food down to medicine. Very important. They re-engineer the food you take so that it can cause a kind of sickness so that you can come and buy drugs. This is not conspiracy theory. Go and make your research. They re-engineered certain food we take, and then after taking that food, you will get sick so that you can buy drugs. How will you buy drugs if you are not sick? So you are taking more healthy food and you don't fall sick, you won't need drugs. You're taking a lot of listen, you won't need drugs, right? If you're taking herbs and all those, you won't need so much of herbs is bad. So let's say natural substances, you won't need drugs. So what did they do? They altered the food so that you will come and buy drugs. It's a mafian system, it's how it operates. I'm not even meant to be saying this thing here. I don't know how I even got to this, but I'm not meant to be saying it. So let me just go back to what we are talking about. So the law of perception, right? Perceived value, right? People do not pay you money based on the value you have. People pay you money based on the perceived value they think you have, not the value you have, the value they perceive you have. That's the reason why you buy a bottle of water, 3,000 naira, $5, 10 times higher, 10 to 20 times higher the original price because of perceived value. Okay, so we've talked about the last one. We're not going to leave that so that because of time. So there's still more, but due to time, we might leave it. Maybe when we come in next week, we might talk about it. I've not even gone into the future of wealth. Like I've not gone into it at all. So we are still in the laws of this. I think maybe we'll just finish the laws. Then by next week, we're going to then go into blood and money. Inside blood and money, I'll not touch on the future of wealth and then all. Okay. So the law of perception. Then the ninth one is called the law of environment. I talked about it. Where you stay matters a lot. Who you stay with matters a lot. If you stay with rich people, you become rich. If you stay with poor people, you become poor. I was listening to Robert Kiyosaki, and he said his family members are not his friend. When you talk about family members, he's not talking about his own, the family that he bettered. He's talking about brother, sister relations, and all that. He said family members are not his friend. He doesn't spend time with them because why? He's a billionaire. His friends has to be a billionaire. What if he wants to speak with his family members? I'm going to say, "Oh, I got a new job." It does not work in his reality. So, what do you mean by got a? Yes, in a poor family, they will clap for you, but in that level, you got a job does not make sense, right? Oh, we just got a job. Everybody is happy for you. But in that level, it doesn't. They don't need it. It does not make sense to them, right? So the law of environment, where you stay and who you stay with, matters a lot. It's going to play a lot of um this thing when it has to do with your wealth and the kind of money that you're going to make. So it's very important that you choose who you stay with and you choose where you stay. If you need to squat in certain environments, go and squat there, right? All these things say, oh, I'd rather become a king in the slum than become a slave in the this, go and become a slave in the palace. There's a high chances that you can actually become the next king. There's a high possibility. We've seen it happen over and over and over and over again. If you don't become the next king, you can actually have but don't become a slave, Sha. I just remember something. Don't become a slave in the palace. Is not that easy, but there's a possibility that it can actually rise. The reason why I'm saying that is that the Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and Daniel, came into Babylon as a slave, and then they were kept within the palace, and then they were trained, and then they rose. So there's a possibility that you can come into the palace as a slave and rise to the top. There's a high possibility for that to happen. I've seen that happen here and there, but the major part also is you can go into the palace in the process of offering value, right? A higher value to those set of people, right? So your environment plays a lot when it has to do the area use, the kind of resources that you make. Apostle Joshua, someone will say that if you have five friends, then you didn't count well. There are actually six. No, if you have either if you know five fools, you didn't count well. There are actually six fools. So that means if five of your friends are fool, it simply means you are the fool. He that walk with the wise shall be wise, but the companion of fool either shall perish or something. I can't remember. But he that walk with the wise shall be wise, right? So your environment matters. The kind of person that you work with consistently matters, right? They play a lot in it. Evil communication corrupts good manners. I've hardly seen a time where the few times where good can be able to overshadow lie, overshadow evil, is when the good is higher than the evil. Like that good has to shine so bright than the evil. Like this light now. The reason why this light can overshadow the darkness is because the light has a higher capacity than the darkness. Remember what we talked about sometime this week? Energy. The person, when two people meet, when it has to do with sexual intercourse, genital meet and greet, when two people meet, the person with the lower energy submits to the person with the higher energy. So if the person who has a higher energy is the higher energy is a negative one, the person with the negative higher energy will subdue the person with the lower negative energy. That's the reason why some people will say, I don't just know. After I met this person, things stop working. Say, oh, I don't know. Things have been moving well. Yes, because you encounter somebody that has a higher positive energy than you have. So it is a transmission of energy and wavelength. That is the major reason why I don't want to go into marriage. Let's leave that for another topic. So the next one is called the law of before we go that, the law of environment. In that environment, everybody becomes their environment to a large extent. I've had people say, oh, look at this guy, he was poor and then he became rich. How many? Check the people who you say they were poor and became rich, study them. You'll be able to find out certain parts in their life where they changed their environment. Either they met a rich man that was able to help them to invest in him, or they moved to a certain environment that allows them a possibility to be able to rise to power. People who are able to do that change their environment. So you change your mind and then you change your environment. It's very important. If you focus on changing your mind alone without changing your environment, there is little amount of resources that you are going to actually have. Then the 10th one is called the law of discipline. Consistency will always beat intensity. Somebody who shows up every day will beat somebody who shows up once in a week. For instance, if somebody shows up, so let's say for instance somebody shows up 2-3 times in a day, that person is going to beat the person that shows up just once, 1 times in a week, right? If somebody shows up 10 times in a day, he's going to beat somebody that shows up 1 times in a week. If somebody goes to the gym 3 times every or twice every day for 7 days, he will build faster than somebody that shows up in the gym 1 time. So let's take for instance, person A showed up in the gym morning and night, and he gym 2 hours every time, and he did that for 7 days, or he did that every day for 30 days. And somebody that shows up in the gym once and he gym for 7 hours, who do you think is going to build faster? It's going to be the person that shows up twice every single day. So consistency will always beat intensity. It is better to show up it's better to show up every time at a minimal frequency than to show up once at a high frequency. So that's the reason why this guy, Fish Pie showed up at a high frequency without building the consistency and that is needed for him to sustain that level. So he just showed up once, intensity, boom, and he went up there. And now we can see him talking rubbish here and there, and he has gone down. Right? God is going to help him if he pays the price, do the things that are necessary, and it's going to rise up back. Right? But that's what it takes when you shows up with intensity and you shows up once. If you don't have what it takes, the consistency to sustain it, as you show up like that, you will show down. It doesn't matter. You will show down. You will show down, if there's any word like that, but you will shall come down, right? So consistency will always beat intensity. That's the reason why somebody like Brain Jota, consistent, goes up, consistent. Somebody like Sabinus, consistent. Melanie Pie, consistent. And many other businesses out there. Trisha B is consistent. Somebody who shows up consistently will always beat somebody who shows up once. This is also the game your pastors make use of, your religious leaders make use of. You are very sure if you go to that church on a Sunday, you will see that same pastor. That's the reason why you show up. You are sure that he will consistent. He must show up. He is tired, he's showing up. He is sick, he is showing up. He did not sleep well, but he needs to sleep, he will still show up. He had an event and he's coming, he will show up. So you are sure that this pastor will always show up at this set of time. Because of that consistency, you also will show up yourself. Right? That's the reason why you are there, because you are always seeing the person here and there. So you have to be consistent. Right? You have to be disciplined. Discipline your thoughts, discipline your mind. Change the person you are, change the person you're becoming. Show up as consistent as possible. It is better to start. I always recommend that it is better to do 15 steps every day, right? Every day, than to do 1 hour step every week, like 1 hour at once. You just do 1 hour once every week. The person that does 15 steps every day will beat the other person that does 1 hour once in a week. So consistency matters. You don't necessarily have to show up very big, but show up in the very little way that you can. That you can. So number 11, the law of exchange, right? So money is actually a transfer. Like I made mention earlier, we don't make money. We only exchange money. We exchange it by I give you something and you give me money in return. I give you something, you give me money in return. I find what you need and I give it to you and you give me money in return. I was saying that there are different ways to make money. You can steal it, right? So those 3 ways. You can steal it where you ask your money or your life. You can steal it and get your money. Second way you can make money is that you can offer it as an exchange of product or services, right? You can give your service, somebody give you. Then the third way that you can actually get money is you can have it by favor, somebody giving it to you willingly as an act of favor. They just like you, they give it to you willingly. This is the only 3 channels you can make money. Either, yes, even investing and whatnot come under exchange, right? Investing, whatnot, the other exchange. Every other principles here or there are under exchange. So you can actually make money or get money or collect money in these 3 ways. Either you steal it, the way fraudsters are doing here and there, the way politicians are doing here and there, the way certain people are doing here and there. You can exchange it, offer a value, at offer a perceived value, right? A perceived value at a certain price. And then the third one is you can now have it by favor. So the law of exchange, okay? Then the last one, and then we call it a day, is the law of detachment. The law of detachment. This is very important, right? The more desperate you are for money, the more money will avoid you. Let me say it again. The more desperate you are for money, the more money will avoid you. If you are so desperate and you are so money conscious, money will avoid you. Right? Money is like is likened to a woman. So why I say it's likened to a female or a woman is simply because most times women tend to, if you not all shall but some, but there are certain ladies that if the man show too much care, attention, and all that, the lady may begin to lose interest in the man. But you see, she's going to put her eyes on that man that cares less for her. That's the person that she's even putting more energy for or putting more energy towards. But the guy that actually is showing more care here and there, showing up here and there, she may not necessarily take him serious. But the one that shows up once in a while, that's the person that she actually may pay attention to. So the law of detachment, detach your mind from money and focus on these laws I've given to you. Do not focus on how do I make money. Focus on how do I produce value at scale. At scale. How do I produce value at scale and be rewarded for producing that value? Once you are able to leave the people that focus on just complaining and start thinking of what solution to provide. Everybody's complaining here and there. Start thinking of what solution to provide. There are certain solutions that will not come to you because of the kind of where you are. That's also another kind of solution that will come to you. But that solution is you do not have the resources to do it. So that solution is for another person. So you can actually tell that person the solution, the person can go and build it. And then there's a solution that you can have the capacity to be able to build. That concept that if God didn't know that you can build it, He would not have given you the idea. To an extent, is half truth because He can give you an idea, but you may not have the resources to actually do it. That's the reason why you must know how to go about it. It's not just enough to have an idea. You must also have the strategies of executing that idea. Is very this Most people have I have a big idea. So what is the strategy to executing that idea? So don't just have that idea, don't just have that solution of solving problem. Also master what strategy you can put in place in order for you to be able to make that solution to come to pass. and then start working on implementing that strategy. Strategy will always superimpose every idea that you currently have. So learn to detach yourself from money. Don't be too money conscious. If I'm money conscious, I will not be here today, right? I will not be here having this conversation. Don't be too money conscious. Find a way to help people. The more people you are able to help, the more money you are able to help. Remember, learn from the religious system, right? The religious system help more people, and by helping more people, they make more money. It's just that simple. Focus on helping more people, and the more people you're able to help, the more money you can be able to make. Okay, but if you're centered on just making the money, you won't actually have that money. But if you're centered on solving solution, creating system, right? Creating solution, solving problem, you can be able helping people. You can be able to make more money. Man, we've been here for like 2 hours. I was thinking that we're just gonna do like 1 hour, and we're gonna call it a day. So yes, this is Elite Tribe. I believe that tonight's session has been very, very impactful, right? So tell me in the comments, have you gained something valuable? If yes, just also tell me in the comment. One of the things we are doing is to see how we can convert every of our video into a podcast where you can just play it in your ear, listen to it while you keep working and going about your day. One of the things you need to do, listen to this. Trust me when I say this, that um you think you know what I'm saying, but your mind have not contained the very juice that is in this podcast. You might think it's simple until you begin to listen to it over and over again and to apply it in your life. There are certain possibilities that you're not going to see. We're going to try our best to see how, at least by Tuesday, we have this ready as a podcast, and everybody can also always have access to it, right? So you just play it in your ear. If you're going about your day, you are changing your mind. You are taking out every negative aspect of your mind that you don't actually need, and then you are building up a very good mind, right? Second thing you can do is share this to some with somebody. Don't be the only person that hears this. Say, oh, come and listen to this. This is going to bless you. This is going to change your mind. This is going to help you be like this woman. What was it called? The Samaritan woman, right? I think that's what she's called in the Bible. Who went about saying, see the man that told me everything about me. She now called a lot of people to come. When they came, it was the work of Jesus to convince the people, but it was not his work to draw the people, right? So, one thing I want you to do is share this. Let people know the value you are getting. You can share to your story. You can tag me inside. If you have any questions, my IG DM is always open. You can send a message directly to IG, Instagram, Felix Onhiri. That's my full name. So you can always send me a message. Please also, you can also follow me, right? You're going to be getting value. Our goal is to keep Elite Tribe every Friday by 9 p.m. The time people are using to go to club here and there, you can stay here and learn value. I could use the same time to do something important for me, but I'm also here giving value to ensuring that your life become better. And if your life become better, my own life become better. Just like I said, the same laws that applies to the religious center and the religious system also, in fact, that if you study the religious system, that's how the life operates. You will know how to build anything. Don't just go to church and or go to mosques just to collect, or go to shrine or whatever you're serving just to go and be receiving. Ask yourself, how did the person who is the face did it? How did the man upstairs was able to also do it? The ability to do it is going to help you. One law that I'm going to add is the law of dependence. But there are a lot of laws. There's the law of dependence, there's the law of interconnectedness, there's a lot of laws that you can also put in. The more people are dependent on your system, the more money you can make. It's just simple. The more people are dependent on your system, the more money you can make. This is the reason why study God. That's what God did. God created mankind, gave mankind authority, and take away power from man. So as a man, you have authority, but you don't have the power to execute that authority you have. Remember the judiciary system that we have. We have the executive, we have the legislator, and then we have the judiciary, right? The three arms of government. Now we studied in school. So we have those three arms of government, and that is how the system. So the executive, which is the president, he has authority, right? But for his authority to be exercised, he needs the judiciary, which is the power that makes that authority to be able to come to pass. So if he says you kill this person, it is not him that killed the person, it is the judiciary that makes the person to go to enforce that law to come to place, right? So that's just how it actually operates. Humans have absolute authority, but we do not have power. We're going to talk more about this next week. So you don't want to miss Elite Tribe, same time Friday, 9 p.m. And I'm trusting God that God grant us strength, that we are able to be disciplined and consistent, for me showing up and also for you showing up. So thank you so much for watching, for being in today's class. This is Elite Tribe. The goal is to be able to build the next and the future generation of wealth. So if you've not watched the part one, please go and watch the part one. And I'm going to see you same time next week, Friday. Thank you.